don't miss the biggest nights in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
To score a goal like that, you could see what it meant to me personally.
Just all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my!
Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fights, even before the bell rings.
I hope you guys enjoy this fight as much as I will.
That's a lot of fans out there.
Look at that! The drama keeps continuing, Sally.
This is just brilliant.
This is boxing. This is life. It's not joking.
No politics, no fluff, just fist, glory, and a little bit of history. Cheers to that.
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN. Magnificent. That is tremendous.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going. Let's make history. Pure power. There's no way back from this, surely.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this.
Grand Arrivals, live on DAZN. Hey everybody, Todd Grisham back in the center of the boxing universe. Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're getting set for what many consider to be, top to bottom, the best fight card of the year. It's Ring 4, Night of Champions, and we're getting ready for the Grand Arrivals. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go!
Live only on DAZN, November 22nd, the Ring 4. 4 world title fights in 4 different divisions. David Benavidez, the undefeated Mexican monster, defends against London's own Anthony Yarde. Devin Haney moves up to challenge Brian Norman Jr. Bam Rodriguez looks to unify against Fernando Martinez. It's the night of the champions. The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Martinez. Welcome once again to Boulevard City, Riyadh, as we gear up for one of the hottest ring cards of the entire year. 4 elite world champions of touchdown in Saudi Arabia, ready to put on a show the boxing world hopefully won't soon forget. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Todd Grisham alongside Sergio Mora and Mike Coppinger filling in for Chris Mannix. Sergio, your thoughts on your best buddy not being here?
Well, Chris Mannix is on paternal leave, maternal leave, one of those leaves, and somehow he gained more weight than the woman that's going to give birth. But we wish you luck. May the baby come out healthy.
Yeah. Congratulations to Sanisa Estrada, his wife and badass. Mike Coppinger, you heard me at the beginning of the show say this could be top to bottom the best fight card of the year. A lot of hyperbole. We say that kind of stuff all the time, but we really mean it this time, right?
We really do, Todd. I mean, when you have David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde in the main event, you can't top that. That's going to be fireworks, I think, from bell to bell. Might not go the distance. I mean, Ben Rodriguez, one of the best fighters pound for pound in the world, defending his Ring Magazine championship. That's the third fight down.
Yeah.
And Abdullah Mason, I think we all think he's a rising superstar. He's going for his first world title. Devin Haney, Brian Norman, coin flip fight. I can't wait.
Look, Riyadh season is known for 50-50 fights, but I can guarantee you at least one upset. I can maybe even guarantee you 2 upsets. That's the beauty of these fights, man. We don't know who's going to win. There's a power puncher, there's footwork, there's speed, there's everything. I can't wait for this season.
All right, let's show you the fight card, at least the main fight card. And all 4 of these fights could be the main event on any other card in the rest of the world, pretty much. The main card kicks off with one of boxing's biggest prospects, Abdullah Mason, locking horns with Sam Noakes for the WBO lightweight title. Who'll become a champion? The potential fight of the year. Jesse Bam Rodriguez against the relentless aggression of Fernando Puma Martinez in a unification bout. The Ring Magazine title on the line there as well. After a heated buildup, Devin Haney attempts to become a 3-weight world champion against the undefeated WBO welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr. And on to the main event. Will the third time be the charm for Britain's Anthony Yarde, or will the Mexican monster be a destructive force once again? David Benavidez, the light heavyweight champion of the world. Let's start with that fight, gentlemen. David Benavidez, he's had 2 fights in the light heavyweight division, Mike. Does not have any knockouts, but that doesn't seem to bother you.
Well, look at the guys he fought, right? Really quality fighters. Alexander Vosdik and then David Morrell. Morrell dropped him late in the fight even. So, got to see how Benavidez is not the kind of weight bully he was at 168. And Anthony Yarde can certainly punch. I thought he was maybe 1 punch away from stopping Sergey Kovalev. Put Beterbiev in a lot of danger, and I think, as you said, right, 3rd title shot. He knows this is his last chance saloon. He's not getting another shot.
Look, David Benavidez was the Mexican monster at 168. He was knocking out everyone, but like you said, Mike, he's not knocking them out at 175. The fact that Anthony Yarde, they both have 30 fights each, but Anthony Yarde's knockout percentage is a lot higher, and he's faced some monsters as well, so power's not going to intimidate him. But the thing about Benavidez, he has the speed, he has the longer arms, and I think he has a slightly better resume as far as winning. So this is going to be a fantastic fight, and one of these fights where it can be a coin flip, because both these guys carry big power, and both these guys can go down.
Yeah, Anthony Yarde, 4 consecutive wins, and Sergio, we went back and watched this week his fights against Kovalev and against Beterbiev, 2 of the best of the best of the best. He had them both in trouble and nearly stopped them.
The one that really surprised me was the Beterbiev fight, because Beterbiev, we're known for being a monster, a Russian monster on the front foot, but this is what I like about Yarde. He's athletic power puncher. He gets angles. He knows how to fight smart, and body shots like that. That's how you take down monsters. You dig them down to the body. He did it with Beterbiev. He did it with Kovalev, and I could expect him to do it against the Mexican monster on Saturday.
Benavidez a 9-1 favorite, Mike. Do you agree with those odds?
I think that's a little wide, a little disrespectful to Anthony Yarde and what he can do. Like Sergio said, right, he showed it against the best of the best. I mean, Beterbiev was in real danger there, and what I like about this fight for Anthony Yarde is Benavidez throws with volume, he throws with power. He's going to be open for counter-punching opportunities. Yarde's going to have his chance to make his mark.
Beterbiev, at the end of that fight, Sergio, you pointed out, dropped to his knees and was thanking God that he won that fight against Anthony Yarde. Benavidez, I think, might be doing the same thing if he's lucky enough to get that victory in our main event. Let's talk about the co-main now. Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. The odds started out as Haney the favorite, but things have switched now, Mike. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people are looking at what Ryan Garcia did to Devin Haney, and look, I think Devin Haney gets a bad rap there. Ryan Garcia was overweight, he did fail a doping test, but the fight was the fight. He was dropped 3 times, and we saw what Brian Norman can do. Massive destructive knockout of Jin Sasaki earlier this year in Tokyo, and also a big knockout last year of Giovanni Santian. So we know Brian Norman can punch, but Devin Haney's a damn good defensive fighter.
The Santillan fight is the one that really turned heads, because Santillan was coming off of his best performance where he annihilated Alexis Rocha. So that's what makes that man so scary. And I love how he's handling the press. He says all the right things. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected. He throws great shots, surprising shots. This is the type of power puncher that doesn't need to be set with his feet to hurt you. He can hurt you from the outside, the inside, and with creative combinations. Very destructive puncher from all angles. And we know Haney has been criticized for the chin. You know, he can't take a punch, and especially at welterweight against one of the biggest punchers. This might be a knockout of the year. This might be an upset of the year.
Well, Mike, you've got to say, as far as Devin Haney's concerned, he will fight anybody. He steps up to the plate. But is this maybe a mistake for him coming off a lethargic performance against Jose Ramirez, where a lot of people thought he was just running? You saw what Ryan Garcia did to him, and now he's going up in weight and facing this guy.
Look, Devin Haney, like you said, never shies away from a challenge. People said he couldn't beat Lomachenko. He beat him in a close fight. I thought he beat him at least on the scorecards. And you look at Brian Norman. Brian Norman's a massive puncher, but he hasn't fought anybody even close to the caliber of a Devin Haney, who has excellent footwork. And maybe, just maybe, he needed that fight against Jose Ramirez to get his footing back, and now he's going to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, but I love the way Norman retaliated on that. He basically said he fought an older Loma, a lighter Loma. I mean, this is a legitimate welterweight huge puncher, maybe the biggest puncher at 147. I want to see how Devin Haney responds once he gets chin checked against a big puncher like this.
All right, we haven't even talked about the other fights on the card, but we'll get to them. Don't worry about it, but it's time for the fighters to make the walk for their grand arrivals. And for that, we go to the stage, and the master of ceremonies, Mr. Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand arrivals for the Ring 4 Night of the Champions. This Saturday, November 22nd, from A&B Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to give a special thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority and the Saudi Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. This event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season, Sella, Ring Magazine, Frank Warren for Queensberry, and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in association with Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, Devin Haney Promotions, and AY Promotions, along with their premium partners, Saudi Tourism Authority, STC, Saudi National Bank, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, and Saudia. Their strategic partners, Meyer United, Arroyo Cruises, Sadia, Lucid Motors, SHG, and Azure. Their main partners, Pepsi and Arena Fitness Innovation, and their commercial partner, Prime. A big thanks to those great partners. Well, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that this great event will be broadcasted live, worldwide, exclusively on DAZN by now at DAZN.com. Let's now get the grand arrival started. Our first two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 4-round bantamweight contest. We will first welcome, coming to us from Bwaise, Uganda. He has a professional record of 1 win, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. Let's welcome Parker Mando Sawanyana.
Barker Sisamwana fighting out of Uganda. Sergio, the only famous athlete I can think of off the top of my head from Uganda had to be Kamala, the Ugandan giant from the WWE.
Well, we're going to see if Suiyana is all Barker and no fight, but this is a big opportunity for him on the big stage, man. This is when guys like this shine.
And now let's welcome from Mexico City, Tepito, Mexico. He had a stellar amateur career. Now, at just 16 years of age, he makes his professional boxing debut this Saturday. Let's welcome Juan El Güerito de Tepito.
Here comes a bright, young, fresh Mexican prospect, Juan Perez Estacio Fiorito. Sergio, I think you might be the only Mexican I know that only has 2 names. This guy has 4.
Me, my brothers, my kids, we only have 2 names. I don't understand it, but yeah, there's a lot of similar names in Mexico, so they end up throwing 1 or 2 middle names in between. But El Güerito, that means the blonde one. I can call you El Güerito, Todd.
I love it. Mike, how many names do you have?
I have 3.
What's your middle name?
Joseph.
Nice.
The legend. The legend.
We have 2 saint names, you know, angelic.
Well, Sergio, do you remember making the walk for your first fight? How excited you were?
Look, I was talking about this in the first interview, but yeah, this is a big stage for them.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 4-round super featherweight contest. We will first welcome from Mapusa, India. He has a professional record of 3 wins, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. Let's welcome Umesh Chavan.
Well, Sergio, a lot of fighters are starting to come out of India. Here comes Umesh Chavan. Who can forget Nishant Dev? We've seen him, a young prospect, undefeated. If they can crack this Indian market, I mean, you've got billions of people there, Mike. Someone can become a huge world star.
Yeah, look, right, boxing is a global sport, and we're seeing more fights, more places. We've had a lot of great fighters from Ghana. We have a card right here on DAZN on Ghana next month, December 20th. And India is a bustling market, just waiting to explode, but we need that champion.
And now let's welcome from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. At 17 years of age, he is now undefeated as a professional with 1 victory. Here is Sultan El Nino Al Mohammed.
El Nino. No, that's not a hurricane. El Nino from Saudi Arabia. Love that nickname. Only 17 years old. So we got a young prodigy here in Saudi Arabia.
And Mike, all the biggest fights in the world are happening in Saudi Arabia. How much emphasis has there been put on trying to create some young boxing stars here?
Huge. You know, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, it's his dream to crown Saudi Arabia's first champion, and he has 2 big chances here with Sultan Al Mohammed, and of course, Muhammad Al Khal is going to work on the stage next.
A lot of excitement, you got to imagine, for these young Saudi fighters, but a lot of pressure as well. You heard Mike say it. They want a world champion, and they want it now.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest. Let's first welcome from Zhuhai, China. His record, 7 wins, 5 defeats, 4 of his 7 wins by knockout. Here is Jiaming Li.
Of course, the most famous fighter from China nowadays got to be Zheli Zhang, the heavyweight title challenger. I want to see what he's doing next, but China, obviously another country with billions of people. They're a sports-obsessed nation. And you got to think sooner than later they're going to have a world champion out of China.
Well, I think they already had one, Todd, right? Zhu Shiming.
Correct, Zhu Shiming, you're right.
Yeah, you know what? The thing about Lee is if you look at his record, he has back-to-back wins against undefeated fighters, but he also has back-to-back losses with undefeated fighters. He's facing another undefeated fighter, Alakel, so we're going to see what Lee we get Saturday night.
And now let's welcome from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Undefeated with 6 wins, 1 win by knockout. Let's welcome mighty Mohammed Alakel.
Mohammed Alakel, I believe all of his fights have been shown here on DAZN. Sergio, what do you think this young fighter needs to work on the most from what you've seen?
Well, look, when it comes to Saudi fighters, they're pretty much trailblazers to boxing. You know, they're learning on the job, and Alakel's been learning every single fight. I think training in Big Bear, the high altitude, the mountains there, with Abel Sanchez, little by little, it's the jab and the footwork, the in and out speed. They're learning on the job. They're getting better and better, but there's only one way to do it, and that's with an opponent in front of you. That's the blue-collar way to learning.
Claudio Trejos is standing by with Mohammed.
Thank you, Todd. We're here with Mighty Mo. So good to have you back. How does it feel to be back after having that last fight in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's good to be back, you know, fighting the Saudis, you know, one of my favorite places to fight in, and hopefully I can put on a good performance.
We know you've been working with Abel Sanchez. How was Big Bear? Did it treat you right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard work, and hopefully I can show that come Saturday night.
What can we expect between now and Saturday, if any adjustments?
I've learned a lot, you know, 10-rounder for my last fight, and yeah, I'll show what I've learned.
We look forward to it. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round super middleweight contest. Let's first welcome from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. His professional record, 11 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw. 5 of his 11 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome Pius Impenda, JR9.
So we've got a fighter from Uganda, India, China, Saudi Arabia, and now Tanzania. It's like going to an international house of pancakes, Mike.
Yeah, and we're at Boulevard City here, and if you go to Boulevard City, it's like Epcot Disney World.
Right.
You can go to Turkey, you can go to the United States here, you can go anywhere you want. They have like little replicas.
Sergio, other than maybe soccer, boxing has truly become the global sport, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's a global sport on the global network of boxing. But no, absolutely. I mean, everyone knows how to fight. Not everyone knows how to box, you know. So whenever you're dealing with countries like Tanzania and others where they're learning on the job, but they got the tough guys, they got the smart, they got the athletic people, but boxing's a sweet science. They gotta learn on the job little by little.
Let's welcome from Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. Undefeated with 13 wins. 9 of his 13 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome Julio Porras Ruiz.
Super middleweight division. This will be a 6-rounder. Julio Porras Ruiz, 13-0, 9 knockouts, Sergio. The numbers look great. How do you think he's going to fare?
Hey, listen, Mexicans are known for being lightweights and welterweights, but little by little, it's Censurdo Ramirez and Canelo Alvarez, and now we have another super middleweight here tonight. I mean, undefeated, power in both hands. He comes from an area in Mexico where there's a lot of boxing, a lot of purists, so, you know, there's a lot of potential here for Porras.
Yeah, and another good-looking Mexican at 168 pounds, Sergio, Armando Resendiz, scored a big upset over Caleb Plant earlier this year. He's in the mix, could be fighting Berlanga next.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the WBO Global and vacant WBC Continental Americas Middleweight Championships. Let's first welcome the challenger, a native of Lagos, Nigeria, now fighting out of Novara, Italy. Undefeated with 21 wins, 5 wins come by way of knockout. He is the former WBC International Silver Champion. Let's welcome Samuel, the Black Panther, and Momo.
So our third fighter from the continent of Africa about to make his grand arrival, Samuel Momoa, Lagos, Nigeria, 21-0 with 5 knockouts. What an experience, what a moment for a guy like this. You gotta imagine he never thought I'd be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on a card of this magnitude.
Yeah, and you actually have a good amount of Nigerians here that live here in Riyadh, Todd. And that was another place that DAZN recently had a show. There was a show recently in Lagos, Nigeria. So like you said, the global home of boxing for the global sport.
And Momoa undefeated, great record, 21-0. Only 5 knockouts, so he's more of a boxer, but he's been moved very carefully, and he's going to be facing the best opponent of his career.
And now let's welcome from Roseland, New Jersey, USA. His professional record, 21 wins, 1 defeat, 12 wins by knockout. This Saturday, the reigning and defending WBO Global Middleweight Champion. Please welcome Vito White Magic Mielnicki Jr.
How can you not like White Magic? Vito Mielnicki Jr., a standout amateur career, and Mike, he still believes his best days are yet to come as a professional.
Yeah, his father, a well-known promoter in the United States out in New Jersey, and Vito has a pretty big following in Jersey, half Italian, half Polish, so he hits both fan bases. Was recently with Top Rank, and now he's trying to really make his mark in the United States. We're going to see a lot of him next year, too, I think, Todd.
Yeah, Mielnicki can easily be an undefeated fighter. 1 blemish on his record by majority decision. Could have gone either way, but I like this kid. I think he's evolving nicely. He's growing into his power, his confidence, and he has the looks, he has the hooks, he has the platform. I think the sky's the limit for this kid.
So that's the story for our undercard fights. Now we turn our attention to the 4 main fights. Todd Grisham, Sergio Mora, and Mike Coppinger. Let's talk about the little guys. Bam Rodriguez and Puma Martinez. 4 belts on the line, including the Ring Magazine Championship. Mike, are these the 2 best fighters in that division in your estimation?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, Puma Martinez, not as well known as Bam, obviously, but he went to Japan not once but twice and knocked off Kazuto Ioka, who could be a future Hall of Famer. So this is definitely the toughest fight of Bam's career, in my opinion. I know he already fought Juan Francisco Estrada, but Estrada was long in the tooth.
Don't you ever call them little guys again. They're little giants, Todd Grisham. Little giants, and Bam Rodriguez leads the pack. But look, Puma Martinez is one of these fighters that has sneaky power, but we all know that sneaky power and footwork and angles and just the sweet science, the beautiful sweet science is that man right there. Bam Rodriguez, that's on a momentum. He's fighting giant after giant, champion after champion, and now he has another one in front of him, a determined fighter in Puma Martinez.
We know all about Bam. He's been a mainstay, a staple on DAZN for years now. We don't know a ton about Puma Martinez, but from what I've seen, this guy is going to come right after Bam. He's not going to take a step backwards. He's going to try and bully him. He's going to try and knock him out. Is that a path to success against somebody like Rodriguez?
I think, you have no choice if you're Martinez. You have to fight the way you fight. And he's had a lot of success against other fighters. Again, Kazuto Ioka is no joke. It worked well against him. But what I look for in Bam is his fundamentals are at the top of the sport. Compact punches, his footwork, the way he pivots, the way he slides to create openings. It's going to take a very special fighter to knock him off.
Look, Martinez is very strong. If Bam fights him on the inside and they get into an inside fight, Puma's going to have a lot of success, but that's the thing about Ben. He gets a lot of angles, and if you notice, Martinez has his elbows out. There's a home for the uppercut. Just like Bam Rodriguez caught Carlos Cuadras, I can see the exact same punch landing on Martinez here.
All right, let's talk now about the first fight of the main card. The two guys who are about to make the walk here in just a minute. Sam Noakes and Abdullah Mason for the vacant WBO lightweight title. Abdullah Mason, so much buzz around him, but we saw a weakness recently. Got dropped twice in the same round. What do you think we're going to see from him Saturday night in the biggest fight of his career?
Well, look, Todd, you've seen it, right? He's a flashy puncher, very athletic. He's been knocking guys stiff on ESPN cards in the past, and now he's going to do it here on DAZN. And look, Mason's a young guy. Sam Noakes, toughest opponent of his career, strong, big puncher.
Two undefeated fighters, and this is what you want to see. Like, who's going to really step up and be from contender to champion? But what I really like about Mason, he's a tall southpaw. He's an excellent inside fighter, but he gets angles with that left hand. That's his bread and butter right there. And anytime you follow up a left hand with that sweeping right hook, anytime a left-hander has a right hook, that's a good recipe for something dangerous.
And if Abdullah Mason does win this fight, he'll become the youngest male champion in boxing at the age of 21 years old. But Noakes is not going to be an easy out by any means. This guy will come inside, he'll try and rough you up, he'll try and bully you, and he's had a lot of success with that style.
Look, Sam Noakes not well known on the world stage, obviously big in the UK, but he's a world-class fighter. He's top 10 in the Ring Magazine, 135 pounds, deep weight class. And you look at Abdullah Mason's opposition, this is a big step in class. He's been fighting basically part-time fighters, knocking them out. Now he's going to fight a real test.
Now, Noakes, I would say, is maybe the heavy-handed puncher, but Mason is more of the fluid combination puncher. But there's a contrast of styles, and I love, if you're going to judge power, I think the heavier hands are with Noakes, but I think the better punching was Mason. That's what I love about this fight. Aside from undefeated, they're two different type of punchers, and it translates well. Someone's getting knocked out.
Well, hey, plenty more boxing to catch on DAZN. For more, catch up on the DAZN app. Over 185 live fight nights a year.
The Locker Room, the new home of DAZN's boxing content. All your big hitters, all in one place.
I am not going to stop until I am pulled off of this guy.
Daniel, don't disrespect you are. Daniel, don't disrespect you. I personally think you're a bit of a don't really like you.
Welcome on board the rivalry line.
I do not want to be average. I fear being average.
More exclusive content than ever before.
You look at that blood, you remember what's coming.
Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Keller.
Where boxing lives, breathes, and never stops.
I never thought being with Matchroom I'd be doing stuff like that.
Weekly content from all your favourite creators, promoters, and influencers. The Locker Room, only on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
So much great programming on DAZN. Our headliners from Saturday go mano a mano across the face-off table, giving their unfiltered thoughts on each other. Then you can go behind the scenes with an exclusive look inside Devin Haney's Colorado camp in our On the Ground series. And finally, Showbiz the Adult hits the pavement with super flyweight champ Jesse Bam Rodriguez to uncover what really makes him tick. See it all only on DAZN.
Watch the National League on DAZN and follow your club all season long, because it's not just a game, it's your badge. Witness heart, passion and pride with every game live or on demand. 1-0 up or 2-0 down. Home or away, it's on. Plus action from the North and South Leagues. Watch on DAZN and follow your club.
Welcome back. We are live in Riyadh. What a beautiful scene. What great weather. A perfect night for our grand arrivals. And we turn it back over to Mr. Thomas Tribe.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome, from Maidstone, Kent, England, he brings an undefeated record with 17 wins. 15 of his 17 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome the number 8 ranked fighter by Ring Magazine and the former British and European champion, Sam Midge Noakes.
Sam Noakes, more experienced, better competition, but is he a better fighter than Abdullah Mason?
I don't think so, Todd, but we're going to find out here Saturday night. Mason, the punch variety is what I like the best. Punch variety and hand speed.
And the resume. I like the fact that Noakes has a nice resume. He's beaten some winners. Ivan Mendy, naming one of them. He obviously beat Luke Campbell, but I like his power. I like his punch selection. He's very calm under pressure. He's a big guy for a lightweight. He's dealing with another big guy. I mean, both these guys got big power. The confidence that Noakes has, I think he can nuke out anybody if he lands that right hand.
Yeah, and again, like Todd said earlier in the show, right? Mason's already been dropped twice, and now he's fighting a much more dangerous puncher in Sam Noakes, a guy that knows how to deliver that shot, especially that big right hand.
Let's send it down to Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, guys. We're here with Sam. Well, you're being for a vacant title. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just I'm happy to be out here fighting for a world title, and I mean, what a place to be doing it.
Riyadh is actually waiting for perhaps the fight of the year. The guys over there are voting on that. How does it feel to be in this card?
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I can't wait to get in there Saturday.
What do we expect of you on Saturday?
Fireworks. Don't worry, you have to tune in and watch it.
Fantastic. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's welcome from Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is a Ring Magazine ambassador, undefeated, with 19 wins. 17 of his 19 wins come by way of knockout. Ranked number 9 by Ring Magazine, he is a former NABF and WBO NABO champion. Let's welcome Abdullah Mason.
We talked about Sam Noakes having much more experience than Abdullah Mason. Sergio, we've called many fights here in the middle of the night. This is a new experience for really any fighter, but for Abdullah Mason, just 21 years old, fighting for a world title in a foreign country, a much different experience, much different feel. How do you think he's going to handle it?
I think he's going to handle it well, man. These Ohio boys are just built different, man. I mean, this is a tall southpaw, big power in both hands, very confident. I love the fact that he's a tall fighter with long arms, 74-inch wingspan. I mean, that's like a cruiserweight wingspan, but he uses it on the inside as well. Inside, outside, Abdullah Mason's going to be a problem for anybody.
Yeah, well, you know, I think what impresses me about Mason, right, when you meet him, is he's such a mature kid for how young he is. And looking to become a champion from Cleveland, a hotbed. You mentioned the boys from Ohio. I think he's a lot more mature than the last champion from Ohio, Adrian Broner from Cincinnati.
Hey, you guys didn't mention that the Paul brothers are from Ohio, right?
Right. Now we do have
the real
mention.
chance. All right, Claudia Trejos is with young Abdullah Mason.
You're just eating it up. Look at this crowd. They're all being for you. Very excited. Title fight in Riyadh. How has this experience been for you?
It's been amazing. It feels a little similar to my pro debut. You know, it's a little different for me being out here, but the same thing is we're locked in. You know, we've been locked in since we got here, and business is ahead of us, so we're going to handle business.
Sam is a man in a mission, definitely, but we know for a fact you're no joke, very tall, southpaw. How do you think these factors are going to be working for you on Saturday?
It comes down to the preparation, and I feel like I had an amazing preparation, and Saturday night, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun, so I appreciate everybody that's come out to watch me and, you know, that's tuning in to this fight card. Saturday is going to be an amazing card, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
We can't wait to see you back in the ring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBC, WBO, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Flyweight Championships of the World. Let's first welcome, coming to us from La Boca, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He brings an undefeated record with 18 wins. 9 of his 18 wins come by way of knockout. Ranked number 1 by Ring Magazine this Saturday. He is the reigning and defending WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the World. Here is Fernando El Puma Martinez.
Here comes Fernando Martinez. Guys, we know a lot about Bam Rodriguez. I feel like I've called every single one of his fights. This guy, a little bit of an unknown. How would you describe his style, Sergio?
The typical Argentinian fighter. They're very strong on the inside. I mean, their upper bodies are very muscular. Once they do break that distance, they can be a problem. They're great body punchers, and they have more power. At least this man has more power than his knockout ratio indicates. Very strong puncher, heavy hands, and determined. And as you can see there, a world champion.
Yeah, and Sergio, you mentioned Argentina. Obviously, in recent years, right? Marcos Maidana was a hell of a puncher. He gave Mayweather fits in 2 fights, and Sergio Maravilla Martinez.
There is the man they call Puma. And you're going to, I think he's going to try and bully Bam a little bit.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. I mean, he can't compete with the footwork or the speed of Bam Rodriguez. He's shorter reach. He's going to have to get on the inside and try to maul up Bam Rodriguez.
All right, let's hear what he has to say in Espanol with Claudia Trejos.
Thank you, Fernando, for joining us. Nice poses. What was going through your head right now?
Sí, buenas posturas ahí, como mirando todo el público. ¿Qué te pasaba por la mente cuando estabas haciendo esto?
Bueno, siempre yo tengo dibujado en mis 2 brazos a mi papá y a mi mamá. Bueno, a mi papá ya no lo tengo hace 10 años y bueno, siempre hago esa pose porque como que estoy con ellos.
Yeah, so I always do that pose because I have 2 tattoos on my arms, and one represents my mother and my father, who's no longer with him. He's not been with us for 10 years, but I always do that pose to pay respect to them.
Let's talk about legacy. You come from a long line of fighters. When we follow, you know, the likes of Carlos Monzón, Chino Maidana, Sergio Maravilla Martinez, when you follow that line, what does that mean to you when you're representing Argentina here in Riyadh?
Hablamos un poco del legado de los boxeadores argentinos, Maravilla, Martínez, también Monzón, Chino Maidana. ¿Qué significa para ti seguir esta línea y representar a tu país aquí en Arabia Saudita?
Bueno, me tenés un rato.
Hombre, cómo no.
I think he's going to show us something. There you go. There you go. May I hold this? Who's there? Who's there? Give me real quick.
Háblanos de los nombres aquí en la camiseta.
Bueno, estos son los favoritos de la Argentina, los grandes campeones que tiene la Argentina, y yo me quiero convertir en un grande como ellos y pasar a la historia escribiendo para toda la Argentina.
Yeah, so you can see the names of the fighters on my T-shirt here. These are the favorite champions that we have in Argentina. I want to be one of those, and I want to write my name in golden letters and be well respected and famous and make history in Argentina.
Well, best of luck. We see you Saturday.
Toda la suerte para el sábado.
Gracias.
And now let's welcome from San Antonio, Texas, USA, undefeated with 22 wins. 15 of his 22 wins come by way of knockout. He is pound for pound, one of boxing's top stars. And this Saturday, the reigning and defending Ring Magazine champion and unified WBC and WBO super flyweight champion of the world. Please welcome Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
No doubt about it, a pound-for-pound star, maybe the future of boxing. He's still so young, Sergio, and he's coming off what he described as the toughest fight of his career against Puma Lele Cafu. Do you think this fight against Puma Martinez will be as difficult as that one?
It'll be a difficult, but I think, yes, I think it will, because Cafu was determined. He was strong. He was one of these African-spirited warriors that always comes to fight. But I think he's going to be in there with a tough Argentine that's determined, and he's a world champion, carries himself like a world champion, strong, and he's tougher on the inside than Cafu. And that's what you need to do against Bam. You need to break that distance. You can't let him fight on the outside. You can't let him use the southpaw advantages. You can't let him get those angles. And that's exactly what I think what this Argentine brings to the table.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a tougher fight than he had against Cafu. Martinez is a better fighter, more accomplished fighter. Don't forget, 2 quality wins over Jerwin and Cajas. But Bam Rodriguez, not just fundamentals, toughness. I mean, the guy has a tattoo on his face.
And he's wearing a Texas Massacre sweatshirt. Is that what we're going to see tomorrow night? Here's Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. Well, we're wondering about this Texas Massacre. Is this what we're going to be watching on Saturday? That's a question from Todd, not me. I know what to expect.
Tune in on DAZN Saturday night and you'll see.
There you go. You got your answer, Todd? But he just talked about his legacy. He talked about all the names, you know, starting with Carlos Monzon, Chino Maidana, Sergio Maravilla Martinez. What does that mean to you for Saturday?
It is what it is. He can feel however he wants to feel, but I'm in there to handle business myself and go home and just enjoy my win.
Usually we get a chance to see you in Texas. Now you're here in Saudi Arabia. How is this experience different for you at all?
It's been a little bit different just because of time change, schedule change, but I mean, I'm a fighter, so I adjust to anything. That's the person I am. So November 22nd, I'll be more than ready for whatever they bring to the table.
Are we doing tacos after weigh-in?
Maybe not tacos, but when I get back home to San Antonio, I'll have all the tacos I want.
There you go. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Todd.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. We will first welcome the challenger. Coming to us from Oakland, California, USA. He brings an undefeated record with 32 wins. 15 of his 32 wins come by way of knockout. He is the former undisputed lightweight world champion and former WBC super lightweight world champion. Here is Devin the Dream Haney.
The Dream, Devin Haney, moving up in weight. And hey, say what you will about this guy. He is brave. He takes on all challengers. Boots Ennis moved up a weight class. He needed a soft touch. Haney's jumping in against arguably the best man in the division.
Yeah, Brian Norman, #1 in the Ring Magazine's rankings at 147 pounds. Devin Haney's last fight in May against Jose Ramirez was at a 144 catch weight. And Haney's a big guy. I don't know how he made 135 all those years. I remember talking with him after the weigh-in for the Ryan Garcia fight at 140, and he was wobbly.
Look, Devin Haney, I've been saying it for the past 7 years. He faces champion after champion. 8 out of his last 9 opponents have been former world champions. This man's resume is going to be aging like fine wine. His confidence is aging like fine wine. And now he wants to become a 3-time champion in another weight class.
And a rarity for Devin Haney. We mentioned this at the top of the show. He is now officially the underdog in this fight. Not a role he's been in before, I don't believe.
No, I don't believe so, Todd. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he was a massive favorite, and against Lomachenko, the odds were pretty close. But I think, you know, he may have been a slight favorite in that fight. So Devin Haney's up for the challenge, and he is the more accomplished, more experienced fighter.
Here's Claudia.
More experienced. You're willing to take any type of challenge, but taking this challenge all the way here in Riyadh, why?
Yeah, I mean, alhamdulillah, you know, for this opportunity, for me to be champion again, for me to be here in Riyadh. This is a dream come true, you know, of mine. And, you know, I want to fight the best fighters in the world. And, you know, Brian Norman is a champion. I'm the challenger. This is not the first time for me. It's not the second time for me. And, you know, this is to be the, you know, my 3rd time fighting a champion. And I look forward to it.
How about this weight? How is this working for you? You look nice, healthy. How is this working for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, I look how I feel, nice and healthy.
Is that where we expect nice, healthy, solid on Saturday? How is this going to make a difference for your performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think the world will see, you know, much more of my natural, my best self. You know, when I am when I'm sparring, when I'm at my best. You know, I've been depleting myself. Most of my fights, you know, and really just hurting myself and you know, making weight and leaving it all in the gym. You know, now I'm more of my natural best self, and it will show on November 22nd, inshallah.
Just between you and I, you know, we're not just talking about you making 147. We're also talking about Norman Jr. making 147. He's already there. He's got a lot more experience there. He's also hitting you at a solid welterweight. How do you think you're going to assimilate that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's a hard puncher. He's a good fighter. You know, I got nothing but respect for him and his team, and I, you know, thank them for the opportunity. And you know, I look to go in there and be victorious, and the world will see, you know, how I do it. You guys got to tune in November 22nd, and I will show y'all.
We look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you.
And now let's welcome from Decatur, Georgia, USA, undefeated with 28 wins. 22 of his 28 wins come by way of knockout. Ranked #1 by Ring Magazine this Saturday, the reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, known as the Assassin 2, Brian Norman Jr.
Shout out to some Southern fighters. We don't get a lot of guys from down in Georgia very often where I'm from. And he loves to talk that trash with that Southern drawl, Sergio. I know you had a laugh at him telling Devin Haney, stay in the pocket with me, man. Let's see what happens.
Man, I love that Southern twang, but I love the things he was saying, Todd, the detail he was getting into, the punch selection that he was going to throw. This man carries cement gloves, man. This man carries thunder in both punches. I mean, look. We know power is something you can't teach, but he has more than power. The thing about Norman Jr., he has timing, he has skill, he knows how to break the distance, break the range. He knows how to fight taller fighters, longer fighters, and from what I learned in Fight Week, a very intelligent fighter. Haney's gonna have his hands full.
Yeah, look, what I like about Brian Norman is he's very comfortable in his own skin. You see him on stage right now, but that carries over into the ring. He knows exactly who he is, and he's not trying to dance in there. He steps to you, he wings that big left hook, and he plants his feet.
Let's hear from the champ now. He's with Claudia.
Brian, so much confidence as you're walking in as the champion. You just heard the words from Devin Haney saying he's a challenger and he's going to make it interesting for you on Saturday. But I understand you had a few words with him yesterday. Would you like to share with us?
One more time?
Yesterday you had a few words with Devin?
No.
No? You had no words?
No, they had no words. I didn't talk to him. You said I talked to him?
No, like you had words for him.
Oh, yeah, we about that action, boss. Come Saturday, we on that.
And there's so much confidence, but yet you're exposing your title. You're here in Riyadh, completely different experience. How has it been for you?
This is what I'm accustomed to. This is who I am. I'm the real definition of a world champion. I'll go any and everywhere, and I will step my flag. My name is the Assassin for a reason. Once I sign a contract, it's like that.
So I recall that you said, based on the video, that you had a promise for him on Saturday because you are the solid 147. You are the hardest hitter. So was there something that you said? I'm just egging you on because there was something interesting you said that you were gonna
knock him out.
There you go. So that's the promise?
Most definitely. I ain't trying to see no 12 rounds. I don't trust no judges at all. God gave me the power to judge myself, so I'm going to go out there and use it.
There we go. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Brian Norman Jr. making his debut in Riyadh and on DAZN. We've never been able to call one of his fights, Sergio, but if you were in his corner, what would your strategy be to beat the dream Devin Haney?
Be yourself. Norman Jr., I know it sounds cliche and you want to hear something different, but be yourself. Brian Norman Jr. carries lightning in both punches. I mean, he has good timing. He made his bones in Mexicali. That's where I first learned to box. I mean, this is a man from Georgia who started his first dozen fights fighting Mexicans in Mexico. That can quickly go awry, but he learned from those tough guys. He knows how to fight. We know he can punch, but he can box as well. Very smart fighter. My words to him is, be yourself, young man.
Yeah, and you hear Brian Norman say before that he's a true world champion. Won his title in San Diego against Giovanni Santian. That was a spectacular knockout. Bloodied him, face planted him. And then earlier this year, right, in Tokyo against Jin Sasaki, that's probably the knockout of the year when we have the Ring Awards. So Brian Norman very confident for a reason. But Devin Haney's defense is way different than fighting a Giovanni Santian or Jin Sasaki.
Well, he called it the knockout of the decade, by the way, not just the knockout of the year.
Right.
Sergio, on the flip side, Devin Haney, he says, I'm not going to run. We saw his last fight against Jose Ramirez, a very lethargic, uninspiring performance. What would your strategy be if you were fighting Brian Norman Jr.?
To run. To box and move. Do not stand in front of this man. You got to use angles. You got to use that jab. You got to use it upstairs and downstairs. You got to get respect of Norman Jr. But you can't go throw more than 2 punches. You can't throw combinations because Norman Jr. punches with you. So you got to control the action, control the tempo, and Haney's best weapon is that jab. That better be on point.
Does Haney have to kind of treat Norman Jr. sort of like Crawford did against Canelo? Like that sort of fight?
I think that's a really smart, Ty. Yeah, I think so. I think Devin Haney has to get Brian Norman at the end of his long jab, at the end of his punches, move around, reset, turn him when his back is on the ropes. And we saw how tough Devin Haney is, right? Ryan Garcia is a massive puncher, was overweight. He got off from 3 different knockdowns, finished the fight. So Devin Haney has a lot of dog in him.
Devin Haney doesn't have what we saw against Canelo. I mean, that's just a different animal. But what he does have is a little bit Floyd Mayweather Jr. So how about we see a little bit of what Floyd Mayweather Jr. did to a young Canelo? Use the jab. Do not let the heavy-handed fighter plant his feet. Use the entire ring. Use angles. These are all things Devin Haney has.
Don't stand in the pocket.
Don't stand in the pocket.
That's what Norman Jr. said in the face-off. I'm begging you to stand in the pocket with me and see what happens. All right, our main event still to come. And, of course, you know DAZN as the undisputed home for boxing. But that's not all we have, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this.
At DAZN, it's game on. Watch every Serie A match this season. Hear the Tifosi roar. Derby days like no other. Where football is faith in Europe's toughest division. Plus, highlights from La Liga and Bundesliga. And relive iconic moments with FIFA Plus. All in one place all season long. Watch now on DAZN.
The action never stops on DAZN this Saturday. Elite level boxing back in Riyadh with 4 hotly contested world title fights, including David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. We'll be seeing those guys in just a minute. December 27th, we're back in the kingdom for the Night of the Samurai when undisputed super bantamweight king Naoya Inoue puts his Ring Magazine title on the line against Alan Picasso. And then 2026 kicks off with Amanda Serrano and Erica Cruz running it back for the rematch January 3rd. And towards the end of the month, January 24th, British boxing's brightest spark, Moses Itamwa, headlines the Magnificent Seven, taking on former Anthony Joshua opponent, Jermaine Fraser. Which one of these 2 lions will leave Wembley as the face of English boxing? It's over! There's no way back from this! Let's make history! Nothing comes close to what we are witnessing here. The big left hand, unbelievable!
Is Itamwa the heir apparent? It's the biggest win of his professional life.
Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury lock horns all over again. And he's just done it! Round 1, destruction! He's up on his feet! They stop the fight! Virgil Ortiz just like that!
These shots are really sweet from Stevenson.
No love lost between these two.
But I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. I got something for you. Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, the undisputed light heavyweight champion, and seal his place in history.
What a 2025 we had. Can't wait for 2026. Mike, you know of some fight cards we haven't even announced yet. How would you say that DAZN is looking first quarter of next year?
I think it's stacked right now, right? I really like the fight between Ray Murataya and Andy Cruz, the Olympic gold medalist, January 24th, I believe. That's going to be a great fight, and Andy Cruz is a guy we could see them fight the winner, right, of the Abdullah Mason-Sam Noakes fight, maybe see one of them go up.
Yeah, absolutely. Sergio, when he fights in 2026 that have your attention right now, obviously can't wait to see Andy Cruz back. There's been rumors that we might see Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez.
Emmanuel Navarrete is coming to Arizona. I think we got a good old Mexican standoff coming to Arizona. I think
Sugar Nunez, yeah.
Sugar Nunez, exactly. I think that's a fight that I think not only Mexicans but fight fans should be salivating for.
Well, the big one we have here Saturday night, we're about to see the 2 men make the walk right now, David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. Sergio, do you think this will be the most exciting fight of the night?
Yes, offensively. Because look, the Haney fight is going to be competitive. It can be exciting. But this is going to be fire versus fire against two guys that are gunslingers. Yarde is experienced now. He's not intimidated by power. If he backed up Beterbiev, if he backed up Kovalev, hurt both of them, or get their respect at least, you can definitely going to get the respect of David Benavidez. I think that's going to be the fight of the night.
Yeah, like I think there's no question at Benavidez Yarde. I think it's can't miss. I don't think there's any way this fight does not deliver in the ring. Two big punchers, two guys that are not shy to let their offense go. So I think that's the reason there's a main event.
And Mike, there's been a lot of buzz, some rumors floating around that if Benavidez wins this fight, he might be angling for the May Cinco de Mayo fight card, taking on Zurdo Ramirez for a cruiserweight world title. How likely is that fight to take place?
Yeah, I've heard the rumor too, you know, but I think that May card, you know, Canelo's going to want that card too. He's still the biggest star in boxing, and that always is his date, so I wouldn't be so fast there. And you also have Beterbiev and Bivol, of course, out there for Benavidez. I would rather see Benavidez against one of those two guys.
Look, we know that Canelo's never going to fight David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. So I think little by little, Benavidez is earning that respect and earning that date. May and September are soon going to be David Benavidez days. Look, the great Canelo, he's had a great career. He's coming off a loss. He's going to have to do something great to get that respect back, get those dates back. For right now, Benavidez is nipping at his Mexican heels.
Well, how likely is it that David Benavidez does take that mantle? Is he the future of boxing in your estimation?
Absolutely. Look, not only because I'm Mexican, but look, David Benavidez attracts Mexican fans. He brings speed, he brings power, and those are Mexican dates. Cinco de Mayo and September, Mexican Independence Day. So yeah, he's next in line for those dates.
Yeah, I think there's no question that Benavidez is going to be the face of boxing. I mean, he has everything. He's offensive friendly, offense friendly. He's a great guy to talk to, right? He talks really great, and he's just a good guy, so I'm rooting for him.
All right, well, let's hear now from the man who's going to perhaps steal the show and ruin all those plans. Anthony Yarde about to make the walk. Here's Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event this Saturday is scheduled for 12 rounds. It will be for the WBC and WBA light heavyweight championships of the world. Let's first welcome the challenger. Coming to us from London, England. He brings a professional record of 27 wins, 3 defeats, with 24 of his 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked number 4 by Ring Magazine, he is the former 2-time world title challenger. Here is Anthony, the Beast from the East, Yarde.
Don't tell Anthony Yarde he's basically a 9-1 underdog. Sergio, he said earlier this week, not only is he going to win, he will knock the Mexican monster out.
And it's believable because he has more knockouts than Benavidez. He's a natural 175-pounder. They both have 30 fights, but this man carries cement hands, and he has light feet to go with it. He's tremendous inside the ring. He's very confident. I think this is probably one of these fights where we might see an upset.
Yeah, and if you're Anthony Yarde, right, you have to see some hope in what David Morrell did late in that fight against David Benavidez in February. Dropped Benavidez late in the fight. Not that Benavidez was seriously hurt, but Anthony Yarde is a big puncher. And again, Beterbiev and Kovalev, ask them how hard Anthony Yarde punches.
That's the thing. When you've dealt with power, you're not afraid of power. You know how to deal with it. And Benavidez brings power, brings speed, brings size, length. But look, power's not going to intimidate that man. And he brings some of that of his own. He carries a good chin. This is going to be a hell of a fight.
Always the bridesmaid, though, never the bride. His third opportunity at a world title. Mike Coppinger says it'll probably be his last if he doesn't get the job done. A lot of pressure on this Englishman. He's with Claudia.
Thank you. So we're trying to get the angle right, so I'm the little girl here. I feel so tiny. How do you feel? You're here in Riyadh. Now you're looking for your third opportunity for a title. How does it feel?
I feel fantastic. Glad to be here. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm happy to be here. Very, very happy.
There's a lot of confidence behind that smile. You've already faced big hitters like Beterbiev, the boogeyman at this division. Obviously, you also faced the crusher himself, Sergey Kovalev. So How do you take this challenge? What is it that you go through mentally taking on somebody like David Benavidez?
Well, my mentality is I've already won. Coming from where I've come from, to get to this stage for the third time, and then to get to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I feel like I've already won. So there's no pressure on me. You know, I'm an excellent fighter, and I just got to show people that with a bit more experience, I can actually be the best in the division. So I'm excited.
We are excited too. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now let's welcome from Phoenix, Arizona, USA, undefeated with 30 wins. 24 of his 30 wins come by way of knockout. Ranked number 2 by Ring Magazine, he is the former WBC super middleweight world champion, and this Saturday, the reigning and defending WBC and WBA light heavyweight champion of the world, known as the Mexican Monster, David Benavidez.
Well, you heard the moniker, the Mexican Monster, but back-to-back fights in the light heavyweight division without a knockout, Sergio. How good of a boxer is Benavidez?
I think he's more of a puncher than a boxer on the front foot, but look, with those long arms, he can be a back foot, jab, 1-2 type puncher, but he'd rather not. I mean, he is what he is, and he doesn't deny himself. He wants to go forward. He has extremely fast hands for the division, and he punches in a little square, Todd. He really doesn't loop his shots, so it's hard to avoid every punch, especially with those fast hands. And once he starts digging those body shots and ripping those uppercuts, that's when the fighter's defense starts breaking apart, and that man takes advantage.
Yeah, I mean, when no less than Mike Tyson bestows the moniker of Mexican Monster on you, you know you're a puncher. So David Benavidez, I've seen him spar dozens of rounds in the gym. He brutalizes guys in there. I've seen him break noses, break ribs, and I think Anthony Yarde's in for a long night on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, I was in Miami. I had a chance to interview him for the Undisputed Boxing video game. I was in his gym. He was hitting the heavy bag. And Sergio, I don't know if I've ever heard the sound that he was making hitting that heavy bag. Even with heavyweights, I've never seen that, ever heard that sort of.
Because his power comes behind speed. Anytime you have speed and power, that's like a double recipe for dangerous.
All right, let's see how Claudia handles this dangerous man.
Dangerous. That's what we're calling you today. But I remember back in the day, Don Jose, you remember back in the day, when you were the fat kid. Your brother was the one, you know, shooting up the stars, and now you're here, you're the defending champ. Talk to us with this impression right now, Riyadh, waiting for you for this great performance on Saturday.
I feel really good. I feel really blessed. I'm really happy to be here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm happy to be able to perform for the beautiful people of Riyadh. You know, this Saturday, I trained extremely hard for this fight, and very motivated, very excited, and I'm going to give you guys a great fight this Saturday.
So I had a chance to go to that gym in Miami in Boxer. I know a few people there. They're my neighbors. And they said, once you hit that bag, everything stops. Can we expect that kind of explosiveness on Saturday?
Yeah, I have a lot to prove, not only in this fight Saturday, but in, you know, going forward for the rest of my career. I really want to make a statement that I'm the best in the world, and I want to be the greatest in my generation by the time my time is done. So, and it starts with Anthony Yarde. I know Anthony Yarde, he's come in, he's focused, he's prepared, but I'm ready to make it a war in there, you know, and I'm not leaving there without a victory.
It's been a long road since you were just, you know, sparring next to your brother, and now you're here. When you take a quick look, just a quick look, has it been that long for you, or did it just happen in a blink of an eye?
No, it's been a long, long time. I'm coming up on 13 years pro. I've been boxing 25 years. I started when I was 3 years old. So it's been a long, long time. But, you know, we knew eventually going to get here at this moment, and we kept working, you know, extremely hard every single year, and now we're here.
We're here to stay. Thank you so much. Best of luck on Saturday. Back to you, Todd.
David Benavidez, all smiles and full of confidence. He's a very intense individual, but a really nice guy when you get under the surface. Sergio, how would you describe his demeanor in the ring?
Fierce and smart. I remember calling Benavidez Porky Medina fight in Laredo, Texas. I wasn't working with you then. And I remember the explosive combination. I think he threw about 20 punches. They all landed on Medina, knocked him out. Sensational knockout. I remember talking to him afterwards, and I said, man, you're going to be a world champion like that. He was like 21, 22 years old. He had the confidence then. He had the speed then. He had the power then. Now he has the platform. That's an incredible fighter there.
Yeah, and you look at Benavidez' resume now. I mean, he's fought some really quality opposition to get ready for this moment. Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade.
Terrell, I mean, that was a top.
Yeah, that was another one.
Well.
And then we mentioned, right, the 2 fights at 75, Alexander Vozick and David Morrell. That's a dangerous fighter. So Benavidez ready for this moment. I expect more power in his 3rd fight and first title defense at 175.
Earlier this week, Anthony Yarde said that he would be hitting David Benavidez harder than he's ever been hit before. He said, I don't care who he's been in the ring with, I hit harder than all of them. You buying that?
I buy it because David Morrell dropped Benavidez. I think this man punches a lot harder than Morrell. The thing about Anthony Yarde is he punches with you, and that's actually going to be what you need to do against speed. You can't compete with the hands, the fast hands of Benavidez, but what you do with speed is you punch in between the shots. Anthony Yarde does that, especially with that left hand. He likes punching in between the combinations. That can be a recipe for disaster if you're Benavidez and you don't check your defense during your offense.
Yeah, and Sergio, you mentioned Benavidez's speed. That's key, right? When you're facing someone that's a lot faster than you, you have to punch with them to capitalize on those openings.
Yeah, you rely on timing to beat speed.
Well, the light heavyweight division obviously so loaded. Bivol, Benavidez, Anthony Yarde. If Benavidez does win this fight, Mike, what's your dream matchup next? You mentioned you don't want to see him go up to cruiserweight, face Zurdo. Who would you want to see him fight?
I mean, this is easy, right? It's got to be Arthur Beterbiev. I mean, that's an incredible style clash. You're talking about 2 of the biggest punchers probably in the history of boxing, really. When you talk about what Benavidez did at 168 and what we think he could do at 175, certainly Beterbiev is an all-time puncher, and I think that would just be brutality.
Maybe I'm playing favoritism, but I still want to see him against Canelo. I mean, I think people still would want to see 2 Mexicans on a Mexican date, and David Benavidez, you know he's salivating for the opportunity to fight Saul Alvarez. I would still love to see that fight.
All right, well, speaking of David Benavidez, he's going to join us right now. The Mexican Monster is here. How you doing, brother?
What's up, bud? Good to see you, David.
Well, David, how's it feel to be in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? And your main event, I think, is going to start around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Canelo seemed to have a little bit of trouble adjusting to the time and to the environment. What about you?
I feel really good, man. I changed my sleeping schedule. You know, I'm going to sleep like at 7, 8 a.m., so I feel like I should be good. But this is why we're world champions. We got to adapt to anything that comes our way.
How's your weight cut going for you?
I feel good. This is probably the easiest weight cut I have. I have 3 pounds left, you know, I have to lose. Right now I'm at 178.
Really?
So 3 pounds. It's been the easiest weight cut of my career, but you know what I mean, it's been one of the best camps of my career. I'm very excited. You know, I know Anthony Yarde is coming in really prepared, so I'm prepared myself as well.
David, let me ask you something. You know, in your fights at 175, you haven't been knocking him out like at 168. What do you say about the critics who say that your power hasn't carried to light heavyweight?
No, I know that's not true, because in the fight with Vozick, I heard him. In the fight with Morrell, I heard him. Now what I've done this camp, I've gone back to the basics. Using footwork, using distance, using head movement. You know, we're gonna have to set up traps. You know, these are bigger guys. You know what I mean? So me walking them down is not gonna work like I did at 168. But for me, saying my power didn't carry, you know, I know for a fact that I can hurt these guys. It's just now I need to follow the game plan, work behind the jab. But you know, I see opportunities of me hurting Anthony Yarde, so I just have to follow the game plan.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned the 2 fights at 75, right? 2 quality fighters in Vozick and Morrell. 2 guys that like to box. Anthony Yarde likes to punch like you. He's going to come right to you, and we know there's going to be punching opportunities and openings for you. Do you think you're going to get the knockout?
You know what? I'm not really too worried about the knockout. You know, but what I will say is I will dominate like I do in every fight. Like I said, I'm gonna follow my game plan. But I see a lot of opportunities hurting Anthony Yarde. So, like I said, I just gotta follow the game plan, and when I see the opportunities, go for it.
I talked to Sergio just a few moments ago. I said, obviously, Canelo's on the tail end of his career. Can David Benavidez be the face of boxing going forward? He said, absolutely, and he expects you maybe to take over those traditional Mexican boxing dates, May the 5th and in September. Is that your goal now, to bully your way in to become the face of boxing and Mexican boxing?
Yeah, that's exactly the plan. And I know the only way by doing that is getting the hard fights. And, you know, I'm not shying away from no hard fight. I want Beterbiev. I want Bivol. You know, I want Zurdo Ramirez and maybe Joe Abatai in the future. this is the only way to make a name for myself, and that's the only way to take those dates. You know, I want to be the person that takes all the fights that the fans want to see, and this is exactly what we're going to do.
Are you content staying at a light heavyweight going forward until you get what the business done you need to get done before going to cruiserweight, or can we see you jump up and fight Zurdo in your next fight if you win?
You know what, my main thing that I want to do is make the biggest fights happen. So if there's an opportunity that presents itself next fight, I'm going to take it.
For you to be calling out the monsters and Beterbiev and anyone else, I mean, Mexicans, that's music to Mexicans' ears. Cinco de Mayo, you and Beterbiev, Mexican independence in September. I can't wait, man. Si se puede. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, he is the Mexican monster, David Benavidez, Saturday night live here on DAZN, taking on Anthony Yarde for these beautiful light heavyweight titles. We'll see you tomorrow night. It's the open workout. See what David Benavidez does on the mitts. You can join us at 2100 here local time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. I got to translate this on the fly. What is GMT? Greenwich Mountain Time? I don't even know what that is. Either way, check your Greenwich Mean Time, I'm being told. Check your local listings. Ring 4, Night of Champions, open workout. We'll see you live right back here tomorrow night.
Live, only on DAZN, November 22nd, the Ring 4. In boxing, gold is everything. And on this night, every fight feels like a main event. David Benavidez, the undefeated Mexican monster, defends against Anthony Yarde, London's heavy hitter. A warrior who's gone toe-to-toe with the best and has the power to end anyone's night early. But the action doesn't stop there. Devin Haney, a two-weight undisputed king, chases history in yet another division versus Brian Norman Jr., the undefeated champ. While Bam looks to unify more of his division if he can break Fernando Martinez. Plus, Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes clash at lightweight for the WBO title. This is more than a fight night. It's 4 world titles in 4 different divisions. It's the night of the champions. The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA. EFL is more than a fight.
To score a goal like that, you could see what it meant to me personally.
Just all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my! Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop.